Hey, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Yep, I'm James Quinlan. I'm a senior project coordinator for cotton restoration.
Where are you from?
I am out of Houston, Texas.
Houston, okay.
Yes,
How long
sir.
have you worked for cotton?
I've been with cotton for 9 years, been in the industry for going on 17 years.
Wow, okay, you got a lot of experience.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Can you tell me what, you're right at King's Crown right now, and you're the overall project manager, I believe.
I'm over the entire island for cotton.
Oh, okay. So
Yes,
you're
sir.
the top guy. Great.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me specifically at King's Crown what you guys started? I think Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It looks like they may complete today, which is Monday, or
Yes.
maybe tomorrow morning. But what's going on here?
So our expectations is to finish today. We've brought over a second group to speed this process up so that we can finish this today.
Okay.
What they're doing currently is going room by room. They're using thermal camera imaging as well as penetrating meters to actually get kind of some forensic evidence of moisture in the walls.
Okay.
They're also reviewing any kind of microbial growth, which is your molds, your fungi, and all those things, notating all that.
Okay.
Those reports will eventually come back to me and then to you.
Okay.
We're expecting that tonight, if not tomorrow.
Okay.
From there, scopes of work as far as the remediation portion of the job will be written off of that.
Okay. Now, I was actually in one of the units, and I watched one of the fellows do some of the moisture measurement, and to me, he had a moisture meter with probes, and so
That's correct.
he was putting them, sticking them into walls or where he suspected there was moisture, or into carpet. So there's really, beyond a couple pinpricks on the walls or ceilings, there's really no evidence that he was in there.
That's
Is that
correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah, they're very small pins. They're made for this type of work, and
Right.
we're just trying to find water wicks up walls. We're trying to find where that end point is, so we can make some determinations if we do have the opportunity to move forward with you guys.
So as far as the moisture map, assuming that they complete the measurements, the analytics today, what would you say as far as getting the moisture mapping to us?
The mapping to you, again, I think we could have that to you by the latest tomorrow.
Okay, great. Now, I might be getting ahead of myself, but what would be, going forward, and it's a wide variety of, I've been here for a couple weeks, so there's a wide variety of the effects of the storm. We had a 1-foot storm surge in most of the bottom 4 units. The Gulf Front units have, so a lot of them have been wiped out, but if you could just, and I know we're not agreed that we're going forward with you, but assuming we do, what would kind of be your, what would you be
Next steps from here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next steps from here would be we would develop a rough order of magnitude, which would basically be a scope of work.
Okay.
Deliver that to you guys so you have a kind of a clear understanding of what our expectations are room by room on what we're going to do. I want to be clear, though, that these moisture maps are just kind of a baseline, right? We don't understand what's on the back side of those walls once we start opening up walls.
Right.
So we could have 3 foot of damage or growth or whatever that might be on one wall. We pull that wall away and get back where the insulation is, and that's wicked up the wall further. So there is opportunities for me to write a scope and say, right now we're saying it's a 2-foot cut in here. That could grow to a 4-foot cut depending on growth and damages that we find behind the wall. So I just want to preface that first of all.
So it's kind of like a doctor going in on exploratory surgery.
Absolutely, 100%. We kind of peel back I always use the onion analogy, but you peel back one layer at a time until you know that we've got it to dry. So our goal basically is to get your building stabilized, completely dried, to where we're not having any further damage to the property. And that's y'all's goal as well, from an insurance standpoint. And how we do that basically is we remove as much wet material out of the buildings as possible. That makes the most significant impact immediately. We'll have power placed out here to where we can drop individual LGR dehumidifiers into each one of these units so that we can maintain relative humidity, and that way we don't have any further growth. That's what we're really defending against at this point, is microbial growth.
Would those dehumidifiers be for, there's there are units here, in my opinion, that have had no effects. Would we drop dehumidifiers?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir. And the reason is this: we're literally, you guys all know this, we're right off the ocean.
Yeah.
The relative humidity in this area is probably maintains in the 70 to 90%, just depending on what the weather is. We've got this nice cold front right here, so it's not quite there, but a normal day-to-day to day, your relative humidity outside is going to be high enough that it will promote bacterial growth if we do not stabilize the inside.
Okay.
And what happens with buildings, it doesn't matter if it's a pinhole drop. Air equalizes, water equalizes through buildings.
Diffusion,
so
yes.
that dehumidification is very critical, even in units that have no damage, to maintain all the contents that are in there, the drywall that's in there. That's all food if we don't control
like
moisture.
I said, I've been here 2 weeks, and some units that didn't have any impact are starting to show signs.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, and it'll unfortunately the way mold growth happens too is it kind of starts slow, and you'll see a spot here and spot there, but it'll accelerate.
Okay.
So we want to defend against that. That's the whole purpose.
So
of
one more question is,
sir.
the owners some of them are concerned, and I would be too, about their stuff, their furnishings, their belongings. So could you just talk about, if you have to remove walls or ceilings, what would you do with their belongings?
So if there's rooms that are not going to be affected from the demo standpoint, we would like to utilize those rooms. We would basically manipulate your contents into those rooms, seal that off with plastic so that we're not getting any debris across there. From a demo standpoint, we HEPA vacuum every single thing that we do to capture all that, as well as any kind of microbial growth that's in there because of the filtration. It takes it down to 0.5 microns, which will capture all mold growth or anything like that we can't see. Mold is, you see it on the walls, but that's not all of it, right? It's airborne, and we've got to capture that, and we have equipment that does that. So,
but their belongings will be
their
safe.
belongings will absolutely be safe. If worst case scenario, let's say we have a unit that is completely impacted, we bring all the contents to the center of the room. We cover that with painter's plastic. We paint. We will seal that down to the flooring, so that there's very little air going in and out of there. Once we get the demo completed, I want to take that plastic off, though, because again, we go back to humidity and the dehumidification. I want to have that dehumidifier handling their contents as well. If I've got it sealed up, then that's a moisture barrier, and we don't want that. So we want to be able to pull all the moisture out of sofas and all that stuff. And then at that point, they can make determinations if they want to keep or remove and all that stuff. And
have you had a chance to look at it? I know you just got here. Have you?
I walked a few of these yesterday. It's a mixed bag. It really is kind of, you did a great explanation on, you have storm surge on the bottom, which is its own animal. That's all Cat 3 water, which means really anything that water touches or has migrated into, we have to remove it. It's got high levels of bacteria and all kinds of stuff we don't want in your buildings, because eventually that'll make the building sick, and that's what we're defending against. Now the more elevated apartments, some of them have some wind blown in from window breakage and all that stuff. There's been I believe there's some roof breaches as well. We
did have some roof, relatively minor, but we did get some residual rainwater from the goosenecks on top. They were tore off. They've been repaired by Crowther on the building to my back.
Okay, good. That's a good outfit.
We haven't been able to get to the building up here, building 3, because the cage ladder is laying someplace. I hope they didn't trash it, because we need it. But we're gonna Forest Structural is gonna put that back for us.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention to any of the owners?
No, I mean we would really, we're do your homework on all this, please. There's tons of companies on the island right now. Some of them are very legitimate companies. Some of them are not. Please do your homework on that. If anybody wants to reach out to me personally, I'll leave my cell phone with you. We're happy to support you from a knowledge standpoint and give you any details, anything we can to put another bullet in your chamber, if you will, on handling this, because it is a big project. You really should have a company that are experts in commercial drying. Now we do, Cotton does not do any residential drying.
I see.
This is what we do every day, all year long.
So in terms of, we've tried to stay ahead of the curve as far as getting Florida Structural on board, sooner than later. We have a large reserve, so we're able to do that. Would you say that we are ahead of?
I think you absolutely. It's not hard to say that you're doing a great job. And that's not lip service. If you just get in a car and drive down the road here, you can see the different levels of aggressiveness by the different condos, and you guys are ahead of the curve. So fantastic job for you guys, but maintain, because really right now to maintain this facility, we need to get the moisture out of the building.
Right.
That's what we're defending against at this point. So we don't have any further sickness to the building, no more further damages,
Yeah, we've
et
been blessed by right after a hurricane. We had a 10-day stretch of rain, rain-free and dry, and then we had a stretch of about a week of humidity. And since then, we've had another blessing of dry conditions.
That's correct.
But we don't know when that's going to stop.
Well,
so.
no, I know we do have another cold front coming down, so on the front of that cold front, we know it's going to be rain.
Yeah.
So this is the cycle we're in this time of year. You guys know this better than I do.
Yeah.
But Texas weather is very similar.
Right.
So yes.
Okay. Any passing remarks?
Passing remarks is just, again, do your homework.
Okay.
It is you guys have a beautiful facility here. It is with the insurance world, there's no reason to go with the cheapest, fly by the pants guy to do this type of work. You're covered to run with Cotton, who is the Porsche quickest, best company out there.
Okay.
And the same price is going to be paid for if you hire a guy with a pickup truck and a trailer behind him. So the end of the day, it all washes out, but you want a company that has the experience and the knowledge how to actually handle these properly.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much.
It's important to notice that we don't have capacity issues right now. So we've got tractor trailer loads full of equipment and labor resources right now, ready to work right now. So a lot of the other companies right now are going to run into capacity issues in terms of labor and equipment. So once they start, are they going to be able to keep on pushing forward at a rate that is required to get you back to whole quickly?
Right. Corey, could you just mention your name and your job title, please?
Yes, I'm Corey Cochran, and I'm VP of Business Development. I'm one of the partners, and I've been with Cotton now for 19 years.
Oh, that's great.
And I've been in the industry for over 20 years. So I think one of the key things is hiring a company that's got the credentials, resources, and expertise, which we do. And he explained it all well, but I think it's very important to drive home to your board is that when you look at the size and the amount of damage out here on this island and Fort Myers Beach, these restoration companies that are out here, many of them are running into capacity issues with labor and equipment. We're not. We're still ready to go. I've got a trailer that is ready to work for you guys right now. As a matter of fact, it's reserved for you guys with your name on it.
We got a place to put it right there on our tennis courts.
Yes, you do. It's not allowed to be put on another job. It's reserved for you guys once you guys pull the trigger.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Absolutely.